Shut up and sit down.
Welcome into another Red Out podcast. I am half of your dynamic duo. Jake, how we doing, Devin?
We're doing good. How's it going?
A whole lot of crap, but you know, you just gotta make do with what you got. I am currently recording this you're recording it, my voice via a stupid phone, because my 3-year-old laptop has decided to just friggin' die. So, we are sorry for the absolute crap voice quality for Jake, as per usual, but, you know, what you gonna do?
Hey, that's what happens when you're doing amateur stuff and getting amateur pay, so...
Yeah.
Exactly, no pay. So, we're good. It's all good. We're here, and that's all that matters.
So, what I thought, I've kind of got a roadmap that we want to talk about. I kind of want to talk about Western football recruiting, because a few weeks back was the signing day, and I don't know if we ever really covered that really well. I'd like to hear your thoughts about what Todd Stewart said about Mike Sanford, and then talk a little basketball. How does that sound?
It sounds great.
Okay, so the first thing, I just want to kind of touch base on where WKU recruiting stands for the 2018 class. If you don't know, Sanford did end up signing the top class in Conference USA by a couple of spots. It ended up being number 69, so giggity. And looks pretty solid. Now, I got a question for you, Devin.
Sure.
If I were to tell you that they signed a 6'4", 250-pound player, what position would you say that player started at?
I would say either probably linebacker, or which side of the ball are we talking, offense or defense?
Oh, just give me one of each. What do you think?
Okay, offensive side of the ball, I'd probably say maybe a tackle, fullback, tight end, maybe quarterback, because Jared Lorenzen, I think, weighed 270 at UK. Defensive side of the ball, I'd probably say maybe defensive line, defensive end, linebacker, maybe outside linebacker. What we got?
Western has signed a young man from Florida who is 6'4", 250 pounds, and is a quarterback.
Awesome, I got it. Okay.
You did. You were like, man, I guess I can be a quarterback, because Jerry Lorenzen was... Yeah, so he's not quite Pillsbury throw boy.
He's not a hefty lefty?
No, he's not the hefty lefty, and whatever... Of course, he's in bad shape right now, so hopefully he loses some weight, and,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but
as far as I've heard, Jared is doing really well.
Which is good. You never want anybody to, die of overweightness.
No.
But this kid is kind of the funniest one. He's got a rocket of an arm, but he also can run fairly well, especially being 250 pounds. He can take a hit. So I'm curious to see how he competes in the quarterback battle next in the spring. I do not think he will start next year because he is a true freshman. But if we're looking for shades of hope and rays of light, having a quarterback that kind of is built like Ben Roethlisberger in a Sanford system is kind of a little ray of light. Other than that, most of the stuff was on the defensive side of the ball. Some pretty good defensive backs, etc. But the state of Western recruiting is really good right now. It's just, can Sanford actually call a game with these recruits?
Are you talking about that, is his name Kavaris Thomas? 6'3"?
Yeah, I think so. He's South Florida kid.
Yep. Lakeland, Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it pulled up here on
Lakeland, Florida.
Yeah, hey, that's, I'm kind of like you. Having a top recruiting class is great. Being able to recruit is a good thing, but at the same time, it's like, can you coach the players that you've recruited so far? That's the big question mark for me.
And that still remains to be seen. But thank God football season is over, and we can move on to... I'd like to hear your thoughts, though. The other day during a press conference when they were doing kind of a football season wrap-up, Todd Stewart had a comment that I just thought was odd. And first off, he's lying. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Dude's lying through his teeth like any athletic director would have to do after a season like this.
Oh yeah.
He said that he has he fully supports Mike Sanford, and that most people were on the wrong side of history for Willie and Jeff and their previous coaches. So, since you were with the program when Willie came, were people on the quote wrong side when he came in?
I can
Like
say
saying that he wasn't going to be successful.
I kind of touched on it a little the other night, but what I can say is that from the inside of the program, everybody was super excited for Willie. You got to think we were looking at, let's see, 08 was 2-10. What was it? 09 was complete loss, no wins.
Yep.
And then 2010, the Willie came in the next year. So, I mean, you were looking at basically being the worst team in college football, Division I, and people are questioning, should you even be at the big dance? Should you be playing in this level? And, working with these guys, it was like, of course they should. These guys are talented. There may not, there's issues that need to be worked out, blah, blah, blah. And when the rumor started that Willie Taggart might be coming to the Hill, I think everybody was excited. And the thing is, when Willie, people started talking about Willie coming, it was like, yeah, Willie Taggart's coming back. Willie Taggart's coming back. And it got to the point that our coaches and bosses were like, you guys got to stop calling him Willie, and you have to call him Coach Taggart. And it was like, oh, yeah, I guess we do. And then, once it became official, everybody was like, oh, yeah, Coach Taggart, woohoo, It was a prodigal son returning kind of moment. Because...
And so that's actual proper excitement and not, oh, Willie sucks, he's going to be bad.
No, and I agree completely, And the thing is, excuse me, I'm sorry, I got a horrible cold, people.
You've had a cold for like 2 weeks.
Dude, I've had a cold forever. I have a cold like 9 months out of the year. But anyway, and even like after that first year of Willie, I don't think anybody was really questioning, should we be here with Coach Taggart? Because Coach Taggart he's kind of got the same upbeat attitude that Sanford has, but I think what happened to Coach T was that he had an idea for a system. He hit a brick wall with his system, and he made changes to his system, and he adapted and overcome. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things.
Something we have yet to see. Sanford staff.
Exactly, and I think that one-sided offense is what killed us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you've got the last 6 games we lost 5. So I mean, come on, people.
It's real bad.
Oh yeah, I mean it's horrible, and I think if we don't see a change with strategy or whatever's going on, then something needs to be fixed.
I agree. My kind of thought is, all right, look, you start looking for the replacement because you're probably going to need one, but you keep letting Sanford recruit his tail off so that when somebody comes in, they at least have some big bodies and some talented kids to coach up.
Well, as far as that goes, I think if you're talking about replacing him, you're going to have to endure at least 2 seasons. Because
you can't replace him after this year. It just doesn't.
No. I mean, obviously, no. But we're looking at a $1.5 million buyout, and it decreases by $300,000 each year. Western's not. Let's see. So obviously, starting next season, he's going to be at 1.2, and then at the the beginning of the 3rd season, we're going to be at 900. Western's more willing to pay that to get him out than they are to, do it now. Obviously, they're going to try and save as much money as they can.
There's just not a lot of money revolving around the program as far as there's a lot of money, to a normal person, but to a football program, $900K is a lot to shell out to get somebody to ride somebody out of town. So I understand. I'm
sure that some of the boosters or donors or whoever would be willing to throw up a lot of money for it, but we'll just have to see. But again, if Sanford changes some of the mentalities with his system, because from my experience, Boise State's a pass-heavy team like we were this year, and I think neglecting the run game is what hurt us later in the year. it was kind of like, Achilles
I
heel,
think the reason he
literally.
neglected it was because he couldn't get it going.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was lack of talent. I think he just doesn't know either the running backs coach or his OC or whoever was in charge of that unit and those plays just could not get a running scheme that worked, because we know we had guys, we had players. It's just we could not get it going. And like you always said, you just abandon it, then of course you're not going to complete any passes.
No, yeah, I mean, you've got to work at it. But my problem with a lot of the run issues we had is instinct-wise on some of these running backs. Like, I mean, there's several times when Furby or Marquez Trigg, would instead of bouncing it out to the outside, they'd bounce it back in, and not being in their shoes, seeing what they're seeing, I'm like, what are you doing, guys? Let's bounce this to the outside where you've got a chance at a cornerback rather than bounce it back to the inside where you've got 10 more guys. So that was a lot of my issue.
Maybe you catch an edge.
Yeah, and I mean, it may be an individual coaching issue. Maybe the running backs coach isn't doing what he's supposed to do. But again, I don't know. I'm not on the inside. I can't tell you, but we'll just have to see.
No. Why can't you continue to work for the team so you can have this knowledge?
Are you kidding me? I'd love to be back with the team. That was probably the greatest job I've ever had.
Oh, absolutely.
But as far as the recruits go, that's the sunny day and the cloudy week, I guess you could say. We've got a lot of bad news with the bowl game and all that junk, but looks like we've got a lot of good recruits. They're not going to be in anytime this year, probably most of them. Maybe some of the old linemen, but the other guys, they're going to be like second, third string. So we'll just have to see.
I mean, in football, that's typically how it goes. It's not basketball. Like players don't come in and make an impact right away. But, once in a generation players do, but not typically.
If we had like Alabama caliber players coming to Western, they'd see starting time right away.
Right.
But with what we've got here, it's
not that
they're going to be good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, does that make sense?
Yeah, you need to put on 20 pounds, lineman.
Yeah, I mean, these old
linemen. You got a high school body. You need to have a college body.
There's one guy, I think he weighs 290 on this, which usually when they do these things, you've got to take off like 3 inches of height and like
absolutely
30 pounds to see what they actually weigh. I'm going to say most offensive linemen when I was at Western weighed about between 280 for the small side and 310. So they were big, hefty guys. Obviously, you got to be. D-line, they weighed between probably 250 and 280, 290 maybe. So,
more speed.
Yeah, they're built more speed. Of course, this Thomas quarterback, his height, he's a little short at 6'3". Usually they want him. Well, 6'3" is a pretty good height. It's probably on the low end for what I would think would be tall enough. But you got, 230 pounds. They're going to shave that off. They're going to get him in the weight room and make him run and lift, and he's going to lose that weight.
Yeah, I don't know, because the guy, if you watch the film of this big old quarterback, he looks solid. Now he'll probably lose, like you say, he'll lose some with heavyweight training, or with not heavyweight training, but like good collegiate strength training. But I'm interested to see how he develops and what he ends up looking like if he ever starts, because he's supposed to be pretty darn good. Now, we say that about every recruit that comes in, right? But, I'm interested to see what he can do.
So that's why I've got some film pulled up right here, and I'm trying to see. Well, that's got to be this kid. That's not him. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. His huddle film, I watched some of it. Of course, I don't really know what I'm looking for. It's interesting that he's not a run-first quarterback like you would think. In a Sanford system, you'd have to have a guy that you could do a lot of draws with. His movement, for the most part, they have some draws on his tape, but his movement is more a breakdown in the pocket, or he's shifting inside of the pocket to get more room so that he can throw the ball.
I like that,
I like it better.
I prefer that.
Yeah, I do too.
Excuse me. Sorry, this cold has been killing me all week, and I'm telling you, dude.
You drink half a bottle a night and we'll go to bed, dude.
I do. I've been doing that about every night, but it's really kicking my butt. But usually, I mean, my idea of a good quarterback. I mean, Mike White did a lot of that this year. Sitting in the pocket, sitting in the pocket, taking. He took a couple of hits, but crap, I still can't find it. Anyway, I'll look at it later. You sit in the pocket as long as possible, and you let the play develop as much as you can, and then you make the smart play. Sorry about that. But it's just
it's somebody a demon over there.
I'm telling you, dude. It feels like it. But yeah, losing season, first one since 2010. First year coach. It happens. I think as long as he's not a stubborn football coach and says, well, my system works, blah, 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 we'll be fine. We'll make it. It'll be good. If he doesn't, we're going to be in trouble. Or he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be looking for a job. But
yeah, exactly. He's going to be the one who's like, maybe I ought to go back to being a recruiter and a coordinator.
We'll just see. So, I haven't checked. Let me see here real quick. Crap. I'm checking Kentucky Northwestern scores.
Northwestern was up 17-14, but I haven't seen anything in there.
It's 24.
I can tell you what, though.
It's 24-17 right now.
24-17 Northwestern?
Yes. Well,
okay.
Benny Snell got tossed.
All right. No,
Did you see that?
That was... Yeah, I did, and that's crap.
I didn't see it.
Crap.
I just
tweeted, look, I want the Cats to lose. I hate the damn Cats. But that's just bad. That's just... It was... Oh, my... Egregious.
So was it incidental, I'm guessing?
Well, okay, so did you see the footage of it?
I haven't seen Jack Diddley, so I don't know.
Okay, so it was all over Twitter, and so what happened was Benny Snell was on the ground, and the ref comes to, the play's dead, ref comes over to, help him up, and when he grabs or, goes to reach for Benny, he kind of grabs Snell's hands.
Yeah.
And then Snell, rips him away and, stands up. And I don't know if he said something. That might have been it.
Yeah, that could be a lot of it, too.
It better have been, because the ref was picking him up and Benny Snell didn't want him to help him up. And he just, jerked away and then stood up and walked away kind of angry. And then the ref threw the flag. It was ejection. It was are you kidding me? And the thing was, they used the ref contact rule.
But
you're not supposed to touch the refs.
Well, he initiated the contact, though. That's the thing.
Absolutely. And also, a Northwestern kid got ejected for a hit that literally was, right between the numbers. Now, he led with his head a little bit, but you could tell he pulled up. But he hit the Kentucky player, right in the numbers, not even shoulder pads or up, in the chest, and got ejected for targeting.
Wow.
They got to do something. These Pac-12 refs, man, I'm telling you. I don't guess they play football on the West Coast. I guess they play flag football.
Well, and from what I understand on that rule, it's not clear. It's subjective. So
it's like the catch rule in the NFL.
Yeah, the catch rule. That's the greatest joke ever.
Yeah, right.
By the way, Dez didn't catch it. I completely stand behind that.
Oh, yeah.
To this day, yeah, all my listeners who are Cowboys fans, suck it. But anyway, yeah, I just... But anyway, no, the hitting rule, that's just incident. I mean, that's subjective. It's okay, well, he dipped his head at the last second. It's like when Overstreet got thrown out this year. That was the same thing. Yeah, it was an awful call. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, you just play without him.
Exactly. So, update on the bracket challenge. I hate to tell you, but you're winning by 1 point.
I saw that. One more. How?
Well,
I saw
that's
your
from
notes. It said you had set that you had. It was You had 9 of 17. There's 17 games we did.
Well, that was Wednesday. That was Wednesday.
Oh, that was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
So what is it now?
updated. You are at 13 of 26 games.
Okay.
So you're shooting 50%, and I'm at 12 of 26.
Okay. Not too far behind.
Yeah. There was a couple of those that I've looked at, and I was like, where did I get this? You know, I was just like, where did that come from? Of course, like North Carolina and Grambling State, I had no idea on. North Carolina.
Did Grambling win that?
Nope.
Okay, see,
I picked Grambling too
because of a running back.
That's kind of what my thought was, because I watched a little video or something on ESPN, and they were really talking up the running back guy. So
yeah,
I was in the same boat there.
Grambling because they said they had a running back that was like a NFL, that was like a draft pick.
Yeah, and there's some of these I was like, okay, I understand why I picked it. Like Central Michigan, I was like, they might be good. Western played them a few years back. I don't know anything about them. Wyoming.
Okay, yeah, I definitely picked Wyoming on that one.
Yeah, you got that one. Toledo, App State, we both picked Toledo.
Yeah,
I did pick Army, and I did pull out on that one.
Yep, I knew I missed that one.
South Florida, I got that one. You did too, I think. Houston, Fresno, I got Fresno. That was,
that one was
my whole theory. I should have went with it. Was just bet against Conference USA West, and I'd be a lot better off right now.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why.
Did you pick North Texas?
Yeah, North Texas was one of those games you got me on. I got you on Kansas State, UCLA. I did get you
didn't know.
there.
I picked it before Rosen went out.
Yeah, well, a lot of these are just toss-ups, like Texas versus Missouri.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, see, Missouri was better in the end of the year, and so I was like, okay, maybe they're on a little hot streak here. And I don't know anything about Texas, so.
I just know that Tom Herman made fun of
the quarterback.
And I laughed. I thought everybody's all mad about that. Like, oh, Tom Herman's a douche. Like, I don't care. That's funny.
That kid brought it on himself. I think as a coach, you're supposed to be above mocking people. Like, I'd have made fun of him in the locker room, but I wouldn't have done it in public. Of course, both of us bet on Braum. The Purdue-Arizona game.
Oh, yeah. Did I pick Braum?
I guess. I think you did. I don't remember.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah, you did. Let's see. Did you do the BC? Yeah, I guess you got Boston College on that one.
Oh, did I? Did I pick Boston College?
I did. I don't remember if you did or not. The TCU Stanford game was crazy. Did you see a final on that?
About that?
It's a shootout, dude. It was 55-52 or something like that.
Dude, the crazy one today was Wake Forest and was it Texas A&M?
Yes.
That was wild.
Because I picked Texas A&M. I was like, ah.
Yeah, I think Wake Forest won that one, didn't they?
Yes, Wake got that one.
I probably picked A&M on that one.
I don't remember which. No, you picked Wake.
Oh, did I? Okay, cool.
And see, I picked.
I don't remember.
See, I picked Arizona State. I don't know why. That was one of those. I was like, why did I pick that? I should have picked NC State. I should have bet on the Pack. I don't know. It's whatever. And of course, I've got. Well, we're still waiting on a few. Northwestern UK and Utah State and New Mexico State. Last I checked, New Mexico State was up.
Ah, crap. I know I picked against them.
Yeah, see, I don't. And that was about an hour ago. So.
Yes, who knows?
But,
it's fun though. I like little bracket challenges and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite times of the year is when I make 1,400 bazillion brackets for March Madness. So.
Well, yeah, you have to. You got to use the one for Western, and then I guess one for
Mascot
Louisville.
Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a Louisville. How am I making a Louisville one this year? Good Lord.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? There was a lot of UK fans today that before the game were betting for Louisville to win. Because of the UCLA loss the other day.
Even for the first 7 minutes, it was super tight, and it's because Louisville was following a game plan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I watched for most of it while I was at work. And to be perfectly honest, what happened was the bigs got 2 fouls apiece. Pretty much all the starters got 2 fouls apiece. And David Pageant essentially started his 5 guards in the second string. And in fact, after the game, this is really telling about David Pageant as a super baby young coach. Q was like, yeah, we didn't do that ever in practice this week, and we had 5 guards out there, and we were really confused and didn't really know what we were doing.
I can see that.
Okay, well.
I can see that. I did have a pretty fun moment at the end of the game. I was watching the live cast at work, and there's a point right before the end of the game, I think 30 seconds left, and David Pageant is standing there. And I was like, he has that look on his face like, I just farted, and I don't know if anybody behind me knows it.
Right.
It was so great.
It's like, oh, now it's sticky when I sit. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, but it was funny. I don't think UK is going to go as far as they want to, notoriously want to go. I think they may make it to the Elite Eight this year with the way they're playing, but it would surprise me if they made it farther. Louisville, I think the only shortcoming they have is David Pageant.
Yeah, I mean seriously, because this team is fairly decent.
Yeah.
And it's, for the most part, they didn't lose that many because they really only lost 2 pieces. Now, they lost one big piece in Donovan Mitchell, who is absolutely lighting up the NBA. He's one of 3 in contention for Rookie of the Year this year. So you miss that explosiveness, but right now I'm seeing them as an 8 or 9 seed, and I think if they get their crap together, they could be a second weekend team, or they could lose to a 3 or 4 seed. I mean,
I think Western and Louisville could go at least 2 rounds. Because
they might be able to if they get their stuff together, but
I don't know.
For Western, it's just getting the dudes eligible. That's where it comes down to now. That's what I want to talk about next. Is kind of is basketball and
great transition then.
What?
So that's a great transition. Go right into it.
Yeah. So the last 3 games, counting last night's win against La Tech, you got a Belmont loss, which sucked. We just didn't queue up. We just didn't square them up on the 3. That just happened.
Dude, they shot 14 threes in the second half. That just blows me away. I'm like, that's 1 3-pointer. That's 42 points. That's just that's a different ball game.
That's literally what Belmont does. So, and I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I was able to follow it. And that's what all the people watching were tweeting about was, we left another guy open for 3. We left another guy open for 3. They got small white boys, dude.
I do have to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Kentucky just scored 23-24 with 37 seconds to go.
With how many seconds to go?
37.
Well.
Maybe going to overtime.
Yeah, that's overtime.
Yep. Or they go for 2. I don't know what he's going to do.
Surely he'll go into overtime surely.
I don't know. I don't know what he would do. You got your starting running back is
backup QB.
Stephen Johnson's still in.
Yeah, I figured Stephen Johnson was, but Northwestern is playing with their backup right now.
Well, see, the starting running back for Kentucky's out. Obviously we talked about that, but
I
I don't know if you go for the win and take the risk, or if you just go for the field goal and go into overtime. But anyway, sorry.
I'm always making play later. But anyway, so basketball, so Austin Peay. I'm not really going to talk too much about that game because it's
Why?
Austin Peay. They are. Seriously, Austin Peay is number 300 and something in the. No, hold on. Sorry, 235 in the RPI. So they're not really worth talking about.
No, it was.
The cool thing is a couple of kids from Bowling Green, Central and Bowling Green and stuff, are playing out and start on that team. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's nice to see the local guys, and they're doing really well. They're contributors.
That's good.
So that's neat. And then last night, La Tech is currently 136 in the RPI.
Okay.
Which that was after the loss to us. They were 127. So they're not bad, but they're not great. They're one of the better Conference USA teams as far as RPI goes. And the reason I'm harping on the RPI right now is because that's, like it or not, this is the last season they're doing it, but the RPI is how the selection committee values your resume. It just is. But it was nice to see the Tops win. They dominated for most of the first half, led 11 at the half, and just appeared a little gassed afterwards. But yet again, we only got 8 dudes, and Omer twisted his ankle, so he was out for part of the second half as well. Which that kid can't stay healthy, bless his heart. Between his concussion at Belmont and twisting an ankle in this game, it's just like, dude, you've got to.
Yeah, you got to stay up there, buddy.
For you to be getting hurt, but.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there. Basketball's not as physically demanding, but got to have these guys healthy. Yeah, I did not realize. I think I talked about it Wednesday, and I forgot that they played tonight or last night. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the girls play tonight, but I can't find an update on their score.
We were up going into the fourth. Let me check real fast on our Twitter.
Yeah, see, I'm refreshing here on ESPN, and I got nothing.
Yeah, so the Lady Tops won 88-64 over Lee University. They finished the non-con schedule 9-4, and will host MTSU this coming Thursday to start the conference slate.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good start for.
And honestly, I was a little down on the girls losing to Ball State the other night, but it looks like Ball State's undefeated. Yeah, I just heard that. I was like, holy crap! So
yeah, Ball State's actually pretty good. Yeah, they're a lot better than we thought. Yeah, they're going to be fine. I think they stand a really good chance to win Conference USA for like the third time, and make another tournament appearance.
Hey, we'll just see. I think the girls have a lot of untapped potential, and we'll just have to keep watching them. Hopefully, they can keep the tradition going of female sports being good on the Hill.
Yeah, I mean they've historically been better than the dudes, so
yeah, I mean
keep them rolling, Lady Tops. Like last year basketball, they were much better. Boys didn't go to the tournament, but they did.
And speaking of, sorry, I just thought about this. We were talking the other night. And you were talking about Todd Stewart, cutting the track program to make room for the budget for the football and the other programs. I want to say that every year that my wife was on the Hill, the girls won the indoor, outdoor, and cross-country championships every year. So that's 4 years of 3 championships. So that's like 12 championships, and I'm sure they won before she got there and after, too. So, yeah, congratulations. You just gutted that program.
Yeah, I get it, but I get it for the money. I do understand, but at some point you have to kind of, it does just suck. You just have to feel for the athletes and the coaching staffs and the tradition of having a winning program that just all of a sudden finds itself without assistance and without, funding.
Yeah, of course, it's a two-sided coin here. On the one side, they were championship teams, but on the other side of the coin, it's like, how much money are y'all bringing in?
Right, absolutely not.
And sadly, they're not bringing in enough money to cover what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like parents and, like I said the other day, track enthusiasts are the only ones going, and it's like, you got like a $5 ticket. How many people are actually going to come?
Yeah, and that's as sad as it is. Collegiate athletics is kind of a dollars and cents thing at this point. Like, can we make money off of it? Can we not make money off of it?
Exactly. Looks like it is a final on the Northwestern Kentucky game. 24-23, sorry, Northwestern. Yeah, UK went for 2.
Well, at least they had guts.
Hey, no guts, no glory.
Right.
Of course, everybody at UK is going to be bitching, but...
Well, I saw a bunch of people on Twitter that were like, go for it. So...
Well, yeah, now I'm sure they're like, they shouldn't have won for it. Yeah, congratulations, dude.
You go for it, and you get it, you're a genius, and you got balls, and if not, you're an idiot, and why would you do that?
Absolutely. So
that's just part of the game.
It is. It's all part of it. But what are you going to do? Looks like you're up 1, and I'm still the same. Son of a gun. Anyway.
Does that mean I'm up 2 now?
Yeah, you'll be up 2.
Fantastic.
Let me check. I gotta check my New Mexico State game real quick.
Yeah, because you're probably gonna win that one.
I'm hoping.
But yeah, while you're checking that, I kind of want to just introduce the last thing I want to talk about is kind of where the men's team sits going into conference play. Currently, Western's RPI sits right around 62, which is not terrible, but not the best. What you start looking at is resume building and where Western can get some wins and where they can't suffer any really embarrassing losses. And obviously, Belmont was our last good shot at a quality non-con win. We did not get that, so our current wins, right, sit like this. You've got Purdue is number 12 in the RPI. That is our statement win. You want them to keep rolling. I don't really give shit about crap about the Boilermakers, sorry, but I want them to keep winning because we really need them to stay high in the RPI, and you want all of their people who they beat to also continue to win. So you got Purdue number 12. You got SMU is sitting at 53, so that's a top 100 win, almost top 50 win. That's really good. That's something that we have that only MTSU really has are these top 100 RPI wins. We've got La Tech, like I said, they're about 136. Nicholls State, 194, blah, 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 blah. None of the other ones are worth talking about. So coming up, right, we've got a few chances to get some more top 100 wins at this point. You're looking at Old Dominion twice and MTSU twice. Old Dominion currently sits at 88. So you want Old Dominion to kind of hang around and stay under at lower RPI than a 100. They're right at 88. We've got them twice. Then you talk about MTSU. MTSU's RPI, because of some of the SEC teams they were able to whoop up on early in the year, MTSU's sitting at a 38, and we played them twice. So if you can beat MTSU at least once, that gives you 2 top 50 wins on your resume, plus another top 60 win. You're talking about a pretty decent resume going into March. Now, honestly, evaluating this team, there is almost no way they're getting an at-large bid. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We lost, to Ohio, who's not great. We lost to Belmont, who may be a tournament team, but aren't super high in the RPI. It's just not going to happen. So we're probably going to have to win the conference championship in order to get a bid. But this is better. We've got a better shot than Western's ever had at getting, or at least in recent memory, since like 2009, at getting an auto bid. And you'd like to have an auto bid because then Conference USA can be a 2-bid league, blah, 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 looks good for the conference, but I'm not sure that's going to happen.
We'll see. It's a long season ahead. Western's ranked 2nd right now. Of course, we've only played La Tech conference-wise, but still, we got a long way to go. Going to change gears a little bit on you real quick. I've got a team here that I heard about on KSR the other day, and I want to check your strategy on this and see what you think. Texas Southern. Tell me if you've heard this. Texas Southern has played. They haven't won a game all year. Okay.
Okay.
They have played. Okay. Gonzaga.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's Washington State, Ohio State, Syracuse, Kansas, Clemson. I'm guessing Oakland, Toledo, Oregon, Baylor, Wyoming, TCU, BYU, and I guess they start conference play.
Goodness.
Yeah. So the coach has lined this schedule up, and I can't remember who they said the head coach is, but he lined this schedule up to play all these big teams. So basically, their athletics is paid for.
Yeah.
They took all that money from getting played by those teams, and his strategy is, okay, guys, we are 0-0 right now, starting conference play. If we win every game through our conference, we make the tournament, and our guys shouldn't be intimidated by these bigger teams because they've already played the best of the best. I just want to say that's guts.
That's guts, and that's wild because they're gonna have to win their conference tournament.
Yeah, I mean, but they'd be favored.
I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know the rest of the teams in Texas Southern's league. To be honest, don't they play with like App State and all them? Aren't they a Sun Belt team?
I don't know if they're Sun Belt or not.
No.
They're SWAC.
They're SWAC. Okay,
They've got
I don't even know.
They've got Grambling, Southern, Jackson
Okay.
State, Prairie View A&M, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley State, obviously them, Arkansas Pine Bluff. So that's their schedule.
So I would say that the favorite this year is probably the team from that conference that went to the tournament last year, which is the Ray Harper coach Jacksonville State. I would say they're probably the favorites.
Yeah, but I mean, that's guts. I'm just saying to schedule all those teams.
Because that's a murderer's row, dude. Especially for a little team like Texas Southern. Like
that's a gauntlet.
I just hope they have their confidence about them when they go into conference play. You know.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, but there were a couple games that they actually played. Let me see here. Washington State, they lost by 2. Of course, they got beat by Kansas 114-71. But they lost to Toledo by 2. I mean, there's some diamond in the rough stories here with this because they hung with some of these teams. But, I think it was a really gutsy call. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, that's wild. But like you said, it's from an athletics department standpoint, like
money-wise, it's awesome.
It's a good call because you make a couple $100,000 each game.
They make a good meal off some of these, I'm sure. I would say Kansas, they probably got a good meal.
I don't know. I know that for basketball, the payouts are significantly less.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Significantly less than football. So, Western got 1 point, 1 or 2 to play Alabama in football, and that was the highest payout we've ever had. 2 years ago, I guess. So basketball gets significantly less, but still, I mean, let's say they get $500,000 a game for the big ones and $250 for the small ones, right? Or smaller, like Toledo. I mean, you're still clearing several $1 million, or not clearing, but you're getting gross several $1 million.
They could easily.
Game. That's impressive.
They could easily clear $2 million, I would say, with this schedule. But yeah, they're 0-13 right now. But they're not the only one that's 0-13. In their conference right now, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley State, and Arkansas Pine Bluff are all winless teams. The top team in their schedule, or their conference, is Alcorn State and Grambling and Southern. Sorry, they're all at 4-9. So it's a really interesting conference, and it's something I might watch. I may favorite them on ESPN just to see.
You should
just to watch their schedule.
Favorite Texas Southern all of them throughout their season. The lovable losers.
Yeah, I want to. Well, of course, my phone's dead, but I think I will once I get upstairs and check on my phone. Goofy thing. I'll have to do that because that's really a. That'd be one of those that if they made the tournament, I just have to cheer for them.
Yeah, you kind of have to at that point. It's like you guys scheduled Murderers Row and then went undefeated in your conference. That's wild.
That would be really cool. So, Mount Rushmore of I know this is throwing it from the hip here. Mount Rushmore of movies you can't watch twice or multiple times.
Okay.
I've got 2 off the top of my head. The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense. You watch it twice, and then you're basically done. Because after
you want to catch all the stuff you missed the first time.
Yeah, you watch it the second time, and you're like, no crap, he was. Spoiler alert, he was dead the whole time.
Spoiler alert, 2 years later.
Yeah, no kidding. And then The Book of Eli is one that I can watch, but I don't think a lot of people can watch that multiple times.
Right, because again, it's So I would say like anything with a significant twist. So like for The Village.
The
for
Village,
instance,
yeah, that'd be another good one. Yeah,
like,
of
you
course.
can't watch that again. 'Cause
Any Hallmark Christmas movie. I got stuck watching all
Hallmark
those.
Christmas. God,
So my wife has been
I can't watch
obsessed
those
with those.
ones. Like
I'm sure they play them at Guantanamo Bay for the terrorists.
they must like a Christmas Prince or whatever's on Netflix that everybody
Yes.
gives a crap about.
Oh, Carol made me watch that crap. Oh, it is crap. It's total crap.
I'm so glad Sarah has made me watch that.
I'm totally going to
God.
call her and be like, make him watch this.
No, do not do that. I will play Skyrim. Well, no, I won't because my computer's broke. So,
Well,
the ring.
speaking of Netflix, I'll tell you there is a very good movie out right now called Bright, and I really enjoyed that.
So we watched that the other night. We around Christmas time. Me and Sarah watched that.
What did you think?
Because she thought it looked real cool. I thought that it was an enjoyable movie, but it wasn't like, oh my god, it's so cool. Like,
Oh, it was enjoyable.
I think that it is difficult. Me and Sarah were talking about this. The world they had, the like modern LA, but fantasy. That it almost needs like its own book series, or
Oh, I think it
like
should too.
or like it needs to be a mini series, like Band of Brothers or something, or like Game of Thrones.
That
to
would be
set
cool.
Up that world so that you're more invested and kind of understand what's going on, because it seemed really rushed. But just as far like a sheer like, oh, that's a fun movie. Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed it.
Let's see here. It may be based off something. I don't know.
I
I've never.
got no clue. It seems like the type of thing that would be. You know?
I mean, it would almost have to be, wouldn't it? I mean, because
well, you say
it's
that.
so
That's about secondhand life. But
yeah. I mean, but it's so broad. I mean, it's so specific too. You'd almost think it'd have to be off a book. Yeah, I don't see anything here. But I agree with you. That would be awesome. They do have a sequel ordered, and Will Smith is set to return. So that would be cool.
that'd be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah, no spoilers. I hate to ruin it for you all, but it is a great.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
We won't spoil it.
Yeah, it's not Star Wars: The Last Jedi by any means,
Dude,
but
good.
oh my gosh, yes.
I'm waiting for people at work to see it so I can discuss it with them, because I do not understand the hate for this movie. I don't get it. I get that, like, maybe there's one story arc, like the Codebreaker story arc, without spoiling anything, is kind of meh, you know?
Yeah.
It just gives the characters a reason to exist.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought the movie was darn near flawless. Like, I loved it.
Easter egg for you. The guy the Codebreaker from the movie, his name is never credited in the credits. Like, so nobody really knows who he is, but there he is credited as D as in Devin, J.
Yeah.
For the
exactly.
DJ for
DJ.
Don't Join.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so that's what the actor got credited as.
I was wondering why everybody was calling him DJ. I just thought that was his name.
Yeah, no. I don't know what his name really is, but that's what they credit him as. I was like, that's hilarious.
That is pretty cool. But yeah, no, as far as movies I can't watch more than once, it's literally everything with a twist, and I hate Hallmark, and
I'm absolutely
I don't know.
right there with you.
I just go, my mom likes all that Hallmark crap, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so bad.
Ditto. My mother's in there too, and it's like, this is so predictable. I mean, like, you can literally just sit there and go, he's going to walk in, and they're going to fall over something, and then they're going to be, like, doing that lovey-dovey look in their eyes, and blah, blah, blah.
Somebody shoot somebody. Take your shirt off. Do something cool.
Exactly. It's like, come on, give me some HBO stuff on this Hallmark Channel, people.
Yeah, right. At least make it interesting.
Exactly. Gotta love that. That's all I've got on the books, dude.
I think that's all I've got, too. The men's basketball are next. We are talking about women's playing NTSU next Thursday. The men play this Saturday at home against Southern Miss. who absolutely got destroyed by Marshall.
That's
so
awesome.
Hopefully Western can continue the path of destruction and send the Golden Eagles home crying.
That's right. Hey, that sounds great. That game is at 3 o'clock. I don't know if we'll be able to watch it anywhere. Let's see.
I think it's...
yeah, I don't see any...
It's just Hilltopper Sports Network. Yeah, it's Hilltopper Sports Network or...
The IMG Sports Network. Sounds great, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to another Red Out. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on YouTube Red, to hit the like button and to subscribe. We put these out every week, sometimes more than once a week. We can find us on iTunes and also... No, we're not on SoundCloud yet because SoundCloud sucks. But we might be on Google Play at some point. So just hit us up on iTunes. Take care, everybody.